That brought the curtain down on the disappointing season for the Cardinals, and we're nearly at that time for the clock to begin on the reworking of the roster. And who better to talk to than a guy who's been covering the team for nearly 2 decades, the Post's Derrick Goold. Derrick joins me for tonight's Sunday Conversation. And joining me now, one of the best baseball writers in America from the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, Derrick Goold. Thanks so much for being here.
It is my pleasure. So great to see you.
It was 21 games, I think that's what the Cardinals finished out of first place. That's 21 games behind the Brewers. And there's a lot of talk that the Cardinals are going to be competitive next year, that next year they plan on winning the division again, or at least competing for it. How are they going to make up 21 games? That's a lot of games.
Yeah, it's two-part, right? The first part is the regression of the other teams might scale back and come down. You look at what some of the decisions the Brewers have to make, where they're going to go with their manager. They've already lost one of their starters for next year, kind of how that goes for them, or where the Cubs are, how good the Reds get, those kind of things. The other thing is the moves the Cardinals have to make. The Cardinals have to make moves. They've advertised them. I think we've all heard the phrase, right? Pitching, pitching, pitching.
Right.
Well, that lines up. They need 3 pitchers for their starting rotation. They need some relievers. And if you're going to get good fast in this game, the quickest way to do it and the most expedient way to do it is pitching. Improve your pitching, you'll close that gap.
But that is true for all the teams who want to improve their pitching. So, for instance, a couple of names that have come up, Aaron Nola of the Phillies, Sonny Gray of the Twins.
Yeah.
I mean, Nola is, why would the Phillies even let him go? They could be the World Series champions this year.
They could, and he's pitched very well for them in the postseason, going for the clinch of the pennant. He'll have a case where, like, he's almost pitching, adding dollars onto his offer with every inning he throws this postseason. So he'll be in high demand, absolutely. So the Cardinals are going to find themselves in a spot where they really haven't gone and where they really haven't succeeded, and that's auction. They're going to have to go to auction to get better.
Are they willing to gamble? Do you get the impression that this is a different Cardinals philosophy?
Well, it's been a long time coming in the sense that this is part of it. If they get to that point, and it sure seems like from all the comments they've made, whether it's John Mozeliak or manager Oliver Marmol, they say they're all on the same page, Mike. The industry has not only caught up to the way the Cardinals operated, but surpassed them.
Right.
And the Cardinals have not been, A, developing pitchers in the modern way, or B, willing to pay the modern prices for pitchers. They, even injury risks now go for far more than the Cardinals have been willing to offer. So how do they close that gap? Well, it's a lobbying effort to ownership to say, hey, we need to do this. We need to spend on the modern infrastructure for pitching, but we also need to spend what a modern pitcher costs.
Yadier Molina, we've heard talk that he's going to come back, be a coach.
Yeah.
Does he help, maybe, if he does come back, in recruiting pitchers who know his expertise?
That's interesting because he's not going to get behind the plate.
Right.
So I think, it can't hurt, right? Name recognition, a guy there who they know is a proven winner, who has a reputation for handling pitching staffs, who brings out the best in them. But you know what? In talking with people this past month, not with the Cardinals, but kind of trying to understand what teams do to bring out better in pitchers, that's what the modern pitcher is looking for. Where do they go for the analytics? Where's the armada of analytics to offer them up every sort of detail on their pitches and work with them? So that's what the pitchers are looking for as well, is like, all right, where's a place that has a laboratory that's going to help me excel and maintain and also be healthy? Like, the Cardinals have a department of performance, which has been a really big thing for them. It's going to be a more prominent part of this, too, the kind of anti-fragile move, right? How do you prehab to keep a guy ready and going? That's all part of this. So, yes, it can't hurt to have a name recognition like Yadier Molina there. It'll certainly help the catching you expect, conversing with Wilson Contreras, some of the young guys. A lot of that has to be worked out, right? That's the conversation they're having. Right. What kind of commitment will that take? So it can't hurt, but what will really help is saying, look, we're going to have a far better situation, a far more modern, a far more competitive. We're going to get back to the bleeding edge of pitching, and we're going to provide that for you.
And, of course, it comes down to money.
It does. Not just spending on the individuals, but spending on the support structure.
All right, Derrick, thanks so much.
This is great.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
Great to see you.
I look forward to seeing you at the Musial Awards always. This is great.
In just a few weeks. Derrick Goold of the Post-Dispatch.